In all that we do in life, record keeping is very essential, especially in our finances. Well, hello and welcome to Islamic Finance Weekly. I am Rahma Say Muhammad. And in today's episode, we'll be discussing on bookkeeping and accounting on finances, especially non-interest finance. And with me on the show today is Mr. Olatunji Taufik, the Chief Executive Officer of Probity Professional Services. Hello, Mr. Taufik. Welcome on the show.
Yeah,
On the show today.
good morning, Mr. Rahman. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Olatunji, for being with us. And so let's dive right into the topic of today, which is banking, which is bookkeeping and accounting for finance, especially non-interest finance. So let's, look at the concept of bookkeeping and accounting. What does it mean and how is the concept applicable?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, our viewers. I thank you for having me once again. Bookkeeping is as it sounds, as the name sounds, book and keeping. I wish I think everyone would understand what it means when it is taken individually, like book. And the book we are talking about here is the book of accounts, the act of recording uh, financial transactions. For example, oh, I have bought rice, 100 naira today. Act of putting it in a book is called bookkeeping. I have sold rice of 50 naira today. The act of writing it down is called bookkeeping. Then from this bookkeeping is what would translate to accounting. So just the act of recording it is putting it in a book in a perspective is called the bookkeeping. So when the accounting part of it is, by the time I write purchase of 50 naira and I sold at 100 naira. So I take it to accounting by calculating a profit, accounting for how these what I purchased of 50 naira was what it was managed. So I'm going to generate a profit of 50 naira at the end of the day by subtracting from the 50 naira from 100 naira, which I sold the rice, for example. And this is accounting. And so it's different from the bookkeeping, which is the act of just recording those financial transactions in which I have carried out in a particular time or at a particular period of time.
So it means bookkeeping is the process of keeping records of your day-to-day activities, right? So now, please let's look at the methods and types of bookkeeping. Are there different types or different methods of keeping these records?
Yeah, bookkeeping is something that can be done by anyone. Yeah, we're going to use some terminologies that are financial, that are accounting terminologies. For example, if you want to say types of bookkeeping, you're going to say single entry, double entry, and you're going to say computerized bookkeeping. And that is the type of bookkeeping. And if you want to say the method of bookkeeping, you'll be discussing something like uh, cash method and accrual method. And let me just say this in one sentence. A single entry is mostly done by non-accountants, small businesses, like someone who is just recording. You give your sales girl in a shop a book to be recording the sales made in a day. This is just bookkeeping, is a single entry. And this is just as simple as it is. And everybody can carry out this. But the second one is the accounting part of it. The second one is the double entry. The double entry that is where you hear credit and debit. Do you understand? That is where we'll be talking of debit and credit. That is what they call double entry. And there is a principle that we used to say that for every debit entry, there must be a corresponding credit entry. That is the double one. Then the computerized one is the one you use, you record by using a computer. We have a lot of softwares that are being used for that, which make accounting work easier these days. then that is the type of bookkeeping, the single entry, the double entry. Single entry is recording just by whoever is recording on the book. Double entry is by making sure that every debit has every credit. So
Right.
then the method now is we have cash and accrual. Cash method means that this business is cash based. For example, most supermarkets, whenever they want to prepare their financials, their accounting, they prepare using cash method. While businesses, like conglomerates and so on, businesses, organizations, they use accrual basis. What's the difference? The cash basis is this: come to my shop, pick something of 100 naira, and I got my 100 naira immediately without you owing me anything. So I'm going to just get the product to you, you give me the money, and that is cash basis, and it's gone that way. And there are lots of implications of this, which the time might not permit us to explain. Then the accrual basis means that there is a principle of accrual which says that income is recognized when you sell, not actually when the money is received. Let me just say it in a simple way. The simple way is this: you recognize income when you sell to people. For example, you have a sales girl in the shop, and you just tell the sales girl, please record all sales. In recording all sales does not mean every sales have been received, does not mean everyone who has bought such product has paid. And if you keep such a record, it means you are keeping accrual type of accounts. And these are, different method of record keepings in accounting.
Having looked at the types and methods of accounting or bookkeeping, which I trust our listeners have, noted down and understood, let's look at the significance of all of this types or methods of bookkeeping. I mean, it has to, have relevance to the people, especially in the non-interest banking space. Now, let's look at how is it relevant to the people.
Yeah, bookkeeping is very important. And I can tell you, one of the challenges we have with people is this. Many businesses, especially the SMEs, they feel they don't need bookkeeping. So everyone just does his business, sells, make transactions without keeping records. And I can tell you for finance, these days, should I tell you that almost every businesses need finances now? Because before, I used to have some companies, some clients that deal with PMS, with petroleum products. Before now, to buy a 33,000 liters of petroleum product, you probably need a 33,000 liters times 165 naira. If we do that and say a 33,000 liters times 165 naira, we're talking of 5.5 million, including transportation. Probably you're going to spend 6 million naira to buy a 33,000 liters of a petroleum product. But now you have to buy like 612 naira per liters from depot, for example. So you need 20 million naira plus to get a 33,000 liters of a petroleum product. Now, this has pushed many people out of business. And what it means is that this person who is doing his business with 6 million naira before need a finance of 14 million naira to add to this business in order to meet up. Meaning, this person needs 14 million naira. And no one will give you finance without a proper accounting, without a proper bookkeeping. Unfortunately, many people are 20 years in businesses, and they are 20 years in business, they don't have record. Unfortunately, this person find himself in this space. Now, please let us finance you. Bring your financials, and they will tell you they don't have, and they cannot produce any documents for you. And this is one of the significance, one of the importance that you should try to prepare before a time comes when finance houses, and especially the Islamic finance space, many people always think that in Islamic finance is like a shop where people just give you money, just take and eat. No, no. The Islamic banks also follow the procedures. So, they get your financials, the audited finances, they get this, they get that. So
Right.
the importance of this is very huge, and it's not something that should be taken to for levity. So
Right.
I think I would just advise every businesses, including the SMEs and so on, to be keeping their records, because even in Islamic finance, we need your bookkeeping, we need your records, we need your
Right.
accounting records.
All right, thank you, Mr. Taufik. Now let's look at the challenges. I mean, in everything that we do, as easy as some things may sound, there are definitely challenges or issues surrounding it. Now let's look at the challenges or the issues around bookkeeping. It could either be from the from the person's angle or from maybe societal problems. So let's look at both ways.
The challenge is number one, knowledge. Um, Many people don't, they think bookkeeping is very difficult. There's a myth. The myth is this: bookkeeping is difficult, accounting is difficult. I hear everyone saying, oh, accounting is difficult. It's not difficult, because many people uh, have been doing accounting for a very long time. We have men that are in businesses. We have them in Mushin, in different parts of Lagos, that have been doing business for the past 50 years, and they've been doing, accounting record, knowing how much. So first thing is that there is a myth, people have fear. And the challenge is that people don't also have knowledge of proper bookkeeping too. The knowledge.
Right.
That's the first major challenge. People don't have the knowledge of bookkeeping. People can do bookkeeping on their own, for example, like, I explained it's just the act of recording. And people can do it, but they don't have the knowledge of translating that bookkeeping to
Right.
a reasonable or sensible accounting analysis in order
Right.
to attract finances or so. So the first thing is the knowledge. And there is a solution to that challenge. Just hire an accountant, hire a professional to fill that gap of the knowledge gap for the person who does not have knowledge about it. Secondly, the challenge is this: sometimes when we say challenges, does not mean it's actually a challenge. Sometimes people feel that when you are doing bookkeeping, you are the process is too long, because the process of bookkeeping is long, really. You have to record the book. The person has to receipt have to be given to the person. The person, you have to send invoice first. Without invoice, you will not sell. What of some businesses? Some people they are fast businesses. They just need to drop money. You see, even people lose customers because of bookkeeping.
Right.
For example, you just want to implement a process of bookkeeping in an organization, which slow down the sales. People tend to queue a lot because you have to record every purchase of every sales you make at that day. So it makes a lot of people to be, waiting to pay you money. Sometimes it's a challenge. And the solution to that challenge too is to get a fast accounting, a package where you can use. For example, the supermarkets. Imagine the supermarket have to be writing everything everyone is buying with their hands. How problematic would that be? So it means that it's going to be more problematic. Nobody will go to supermarket because you pick as small things, small item. I don't want to mention name of any item. You pick as small as any item, they will write it on a book. It's going to be tedious. So the solution to that is to get a system software that can assist you in doing that.
Yeah, that reminds me, talking about interpretation and analysis, it reminds me back in secondary school, we used to study shorthand, where, there are so many complicated signs that you have to learn. I don't think I ever got through that, honestly. So, how do people, or, in this bookkeeping process, is it applicable, the shorthand process,
No, no,
keeping
no, no, no,
digital
no.
things aside? Okay.
Shorthand, I don't know it either.
Okay.
And I've never had challenges. So shorthand, no.
Yes.
No, you don't
Yes.
need shorthand. Accounting is just a normal thing. Buy,
Mhm.
purchase. Everyone can do it. It just takes you to learn it, and that's all.
Yeah.
And you might not be
Yeah.
a professional, like a professional, but if you learn it, you know it's just basic accounting,
All
not
right.
the professional accounting way. So you don't need
All right.
shorthand.
No, I mean, with the digital age now, who even needs shorthand? Everything has gone, systematic. It's no longer
Exactly,
manual. So
exactly,
I don't think that's
exactly,
necessary. Anyways, please, what's your,
exactly.
Mr. Olatunji, what's your piece of advice to the people out there? How do you tell them, or how do we get people to get aware of bookkeeping, and how do people get indulged in, record keeping?
So my advice for you, the viewers, is this: keep your records. It gives you confidence about your business. It tells you if you are making profit or loss. It
Right.
tells you if the business is good for you. Please don't just, and it's a kind of security for your business too. Meaning is that if you don't have a process of bookkeeping, recording, and accounting in an organization, there is probability your business is probable to pay fringe to the extent that people will take your product, you won't know, you won't be aware because you have no record of how much inventory you have in your store. You don't know
Right.
how many products and how much you have sold out of it. And it's going to affect your accounting. And at the end of the day, you might end up undercapitalizing your business, meaning you might end up having less capital to run your business because you don't keep your record. It is not
Right.
something to make joke of. It is not something to take with levity. It's something you have to be serious about and do
Right.
it. If you cannot do it, hire a professional. Please don't take accounting and recording to be something that is waste of money. If you want
Right.
to buy Ashwebi, for example, now I know, sorry, on the lighter mode, I know someone who just want to do birthday now is having 650,000 naira
Mm.
clothes, and people are buying it. But for your
Right.
business, even if an accountant give you 100,000 or 200,000 naira as a bill, you tend to be telling the accountant it's too expensive. And see it as an investment. Don't see it as just a waste of money. Hire a
Right.
professional to assist you, and
Mm-hmm.
you will not regret it now and in the future. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olatunji Taufik.
You're
Thank you. It
welcome.
was really, it was insightful. Thank you so much for being on the show with us.
You're welcome.
And that will be all on Islamic Finance Weekly today. Don't forget to keep it to date with us next week on the program. Follow us on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you for watching. I am Rahma Say Muhammad.